Testament, King Solomon, but it is found nowhere in today's Bible. Rejected by both Jews and Christians, it would become a coveted document by practitioners of alchemy and Kabbalism. Called the Testament of Solomon, it concerns a little-known side of Solomon's character, that of a sorcerer, a master of demons.
The Solomon that we know from the Bible is a man of immense wisdom. In fact, one of the things that's said of him is that he has the wisdom of the people from the East, or the Chaldeans, and the wisdom of the Egyptians, which means that his wisdom includes astrological lore. It includes magic, as we'll find in the Testament of Solomon.
Multiple copies of the Testament of Solomon, written in Greek and preserved by the early Greek Orthodox Church, have been found in Christian libraries in France, England, Greece, and Israel. The fact that they all date to the 15th and 16th centuries led some to believe it had been written around this time, but many scholars working in the early 20th century suspected the origin of the story was far older. Those suspicions were confirmed in 1945 when an Egyptian farmer made an astonishing discovery in a place called Nag Hammadi. Buried in the earth were ancient manuscripts stored in clay jars, unseen for nearly 1,600 years. Dating as far back as the 2nd century, they included several passages that seem to refer directly to the traditions outlined in the Solomon text.
What we can know for sure about when the Testament of Solomon might have been written is that it had to have been before the year 400.
Aware of the story of the two women who bring their baby to King Solomon, and he decides, I'll divide it in two since both of you claim it.
At which point the real mother says, no, please just give that child to the other woman. And hence he knows which is the real mother, and of course never really intended to divide the child in half.
The alternative narrative in the Testament of Solomon concerns his other great feat, the building of the temple in Jerusalem.
The temple is built supernaturally through supernatural agency. Solomon is God's agent. Solomon is not only the archetypal wise man, but the archetypal doer.
With it thou shalt lock up all demons of the earth, and with their help thou shalt build up Jerusalem.
There's also a lot of Tolkienish imagery here. One ring of power, one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them.
Using this ring, Solomon summons Beelzebub himself in order to enslay a host of demons. And I questioned him, and he promised to bring me in bonds all the unclean spirits.
One by one, he puts them to work building the foundations of his temple. So what's the idea here? That if you can somehow tap into the good side of force, you can use that to subdue the dark side and even to cause the dark side to work for good.
I think we can see the use of demons as actually a way of saying that the temple is of divine origin. It wasn't a bunch of stone cutters and bricklayers that built the temple. It was these divine beings that Solomon was able to control and force to spin the hemp and cut the marble and put bricks on
And the demon said, we shall lead astray the inhabited world for a long season until the Son of God is stretched upon the cross. But recent scholarship suggests that despite its Christian trappings, the traditions behind the story may be far older.
A lot of the material in it suggests to us that there's an early Jewish core, perhaps from the 1st century CE, and that it's later reworked by Christians, and then of course preserved and circulated by Christians.
Jupiter is 500 million miles from the Sun, a giant sphere of intrigue. This churning ball of gas may look like an artist's rendering, but it's the real thing.